Well, see, the benefit to it, and the reason I
That's
what I'm saying. I invested in these expensive, they're not that expensive. I invested in these great arms that you could just, wherever you're comfortable.
Well, I definitely need the space to talk.
This
is how I speak. So
you got to watch out for all objects in
when we used
front.
to do our interviews, like I had to I was able to talk with my hands, but they had position me the right way.
It's the Italian thing.
Yes, it is.
What part of Italy? I guess that's the standard question. Do you know?
I don't know. Supposedly northern, mid, somewhere.
Okay.
I thought Sicilian. Someone just told me the other day no.
Oh, great. Just shattering dreams.
Oh, I don't care. I mean, the coloring, I don't have the Sicilian. I wish I had.
I'm supposed to be Sicilian. I
I
do get a little opaque in the winter, though.
Oh my God, my brother and my sister get so dark.
Really?
So dark.
So it's in you.
Jealous.
And you travel a lot, so I'm sure you come back looking cinnamon and nice and tanned up.
The cinnamon is probably just golden brown.
There you go, right? A nice maple. That's what
toast.
I aim for a maple tan on a
White
constant
toast.
basis. That's what I do. So I'm super happy to be sitting down with you finally.
Finally.
I didn't think this was ever going to happen
I
with
know.
the waiting for offices, and I wanted you to be the first guest in a new office, and we're still at the old digs.
It's all good.
But Alex had told me a lot about you coming to the shop, supporting that your salon is next door. So obviously, I'm intrigued with you as a whole, your business, what you do, and then obviously the time that you spent on the reality side of an MTV, right? MTV?
MTV.
Okay, MTV show. I just want to make sure. I didn't want to just automatically. But so I mean, it's a pleasure to seriously sit down with you.
I'm welcome. I'm happy to be here.
Of course. So I want to ask, before we get into the MTV side of things, I want to ask on the side personal. Okay. So has that always been your salon? Like, what did you want to do that?
So it's technically my mom's. My whole family's in the hair industry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my mom's dad was a hairdresser, and I have so many cousins that do hair. My aunt works. My mom's sister works for us. So it's always, but I've never been interested in hair. I've always loved the industry, but I never wanted to do it. I've always been, on like an artistic end. Like I've danced all my life. I was a competitive gymnast and danced, and then I became a competitive dancer, switched it up. So yeah, but I definitely had to go to college.
Where'd you go?
I went to University of Buffalo.
Okay.
Yeah. So people were like, my mom's like, really? You couldn't go anywhere hot so I could like visit you somewhere?
I was about to say, you just mentioned the getting out of New York to get rid of the cold, and you were all the way up in the pit of the cold.
Literally. I have to say, though, my first 2 years there were the warmest winters they've seen in a really long time. So it wasn't until my junior and senior year that I really understood like the snowstorms, like what they were talking about. Crazy, like
wild,
up to the handles of the door, like it was insane. Meanwhile, we're going out in short skirts still.
Yeah. I don't know how you guys do that.
We called them our frackets, just like a inexpensive hoodie that you would bring if it got lost, whatever. Still wore our crop tops. It was hilarious. So, how did we do that? You pre-gamed extremely hard, extremely hard. So I went to school. I got a BA in communication. I kept it kind of like bland because I've always been that person that had many hobbies and interests, but didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. And I knew I loved dance, but I actually majored my first year at Buffalo dancing.
Okay.
And it was a little more like modern. It wasn't really my...
I was going to ask you, what would be the course? And I don't mean to interrupt you. What would be the course? A dance coach or working on a team as a choreographer? Is that kind of like the route if you decide to major in dance?
Well,
professionally?
I guess I like being the entertainer more than the choreographer. So, I mean, you never know what leads to anything. But so when I was dancing there, it was more just for the experience and also staying because they didn't have a dance team there. Because that would have been the real ideal because I danced for my high school. Shout out to the Wranglerettes at High School West.
Shouts.
And so I would love to have done that. And when I got into school at Buffalo, they offered, I actually auditioned. I got into dance, the dance major before I even knew I got into the school.
Okay.
So I think that helped also. I'm not very, not the most studious. Like, I'm not saying I'm not like,
I feel you.
You got one side of the brain or the other, So Yeah, so like I wasn't really focusing on these huge schools where those huge dance teams were, but I had Buffalo and I had the major and it was a lot of fun, but it wasn't my type of dance. And I knew I was going to double in the end, no matter what, with another major on the business end. So I was like, you know what? It's not my type of dance anyways. Let me just focus on communication. So I worked really hard on that. Graduated 2015. And then when I came home, I went back to dance because the agreement with my father was I get my degree and then I can try again, which I'm very thankful for because I don't think I'm someone that could have went back to school.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends that have gone back for masters, gone back for PhDs and this and
Oh my
that.
God.
And I don't know. I'm not very school oriented, like you just said. I'm somebody who I feel like you can do so many things without a degree, and
Oh, yeah.
and that they're not really all it's cracked up to be, especially nowadays. I feel for me personally,
Mhm.
and so to sit there in a classroom and just hear and have to memorize shit that realistically, do you really use all of that at any point? Like all of it?
Mm.
Do you remember even communicate? I did communications. I got my degree in public relations and a minor in business. And that's primarily because I didn't feel like doing calculus and all the other bullshit ass classes.
That's exactly what we had a business school, and I didn't do it just because of all those math classes.
Yep.
Why? I wasn't going to be an accountant. I wasn't going to be in finance. I was like, so I did communication, and it's nice to have. I will say, it's nice to have. I was really proud of myself to like graduate and do it in the 4 years. And don't get me wrong, sometimes I had to do some extra credit on the summer and stuff like that. Pledging didn't help my freshman year. So, but it was a great experience and I'm really happy I did it and I have it in my belt. But resume wise, I feel like if I give you a paper, I don't want you to look at it. I'd rather go in and like show you what I can do. I'm so much better. I'd rather do a million jobs until like the right one, because I'm a hard worker in the end. So, and I have two, parents that really work themselves up. Like my dad is like top in the company. He doesn't own it, but like he's literally right there.
Yeah, he's worked his way up the corporate ladder. He's done his thing.
And then my mom, she went to beauty school, but she didn't go to college. So, and then now she's an owner of, hair salon. Used to be multiple hair salons, and now we just focus on the one. But so definitely have a business background, but I'd rather be thrown into the job and like tell me what to do right there than have you look at my resume.
More street smart. Just do it. Just literally do it on the fly and learn
Street
and get your
smart.
hands dirty.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I've always been. I picked the camera up. I was kind of good at it and I ran with it.
Yeah.
Before then I got my degrees. I had sales background. For years I was in sales. Years. I did
Sales is hard.
I did retail sales. I did B2B sales. I did B2C sales. I was a Hamptons rep for an audio video company. So I was out in the Hamptons 3 to 4 days a week, talking to builders, networking with architects, going into client homes, explaining breakdowns, learning how to read plans. I mean, that was the most shell shock, like craziness I've ever been in. Like just, I have to do everything now because I went from retail to that.
Yeah.
So go to the Apple store. Yeah, that's right. Fixing everyone's phones. Go to the Apple store, deal with crazy people that are upset their phone doesn't work, to now they go, well, you could make a lot of money doing this sales gig. And of course, that made me excited because I was always the top seller at Apple. But Apple's a lot different when people are coming in for the product versus you going out there and going, oh, there's no sales unless I go network and form these relationships. So when you're saying, get your hands dirty and actually get out there, I mean, I had to learn it all and it was tough.
Yeah.
It's not easy. But instead of like sitting there and having to recite and memorize formulas and things that I'm never going to have to do, I sit here sometimes and I look at, first off, side note, Sally Mae, y'all robbed me. Variable interest rate. I didn't know what I was signing back then. I hit check. Yeah, it sounds great. Look how low that interest rate is. My loans went from like $200 a month to like $500. That's a car payment now. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So I look.
Live and you learn, though.
Exactly. So now I read every contract now. I'm just like, eh.
Which was great about going away to school too. I learned a lot being on your own as well. So
yeah,
in all aspects, because I had my cute little first car, my Mazda front wheel drive in Buffalo. Can you imagine?
It's over.
Oh my God. You have no idea how many times it was being towed or the battery was shot from the cold.
All you heard was, oh
my God.
The tires.
Yeah, you can call your parents, but you have to take care of it. So I learned so much. I loved being away at school. It was great. So, but yeah, you gotta, I just rather be, I definitely have the street smarts. I can definitely tell you.
Trial by fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I can definitely feel that. I don't know. I know you said you look back at the experience and you say it was good. So that, which is awesome because it taught you a lot and this and that. I think for me, I look back at it and I'm like, probably would have done a little different. I probably would have done a state school because I did 2 years at Hofstra. I almost said did not do 2 years at Hofstra. I did 2 years at Nassau.
Okay.
And then I did 2 years at Quinnipiac.
Okay.
But I went away to Quinnipiac and I bodybuilt. So I wound up competing and doing shows.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Not drinking, not partying. And I'm just looking around. I'm like, I'm not doing anything at school besides going to the gym around the corner and going to classes, which I'm dragging myself to because I hated it. So it's just kind of like I look back at it and I see that loan payment come in every month, and I'm like, I'm not really doing anything with this degree. This is kind of shot.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I wish I could have done a rah-rah school because I love football. I love those games. I could have done a dance team, but I have no regrets. Everything happens for a reason. I met great people. Had great experiences. So I definitely learned how to study in college. I can tell you that. Was
that your hard part? Like having to sit down and actually retain the info?
I am literally that person. I would go to the library. I would literally be there for I've never knew you could stay in a library as long as I did. People would it became like a hangout spot, because everyone was doing it anyways. I was there. I could be there for literally up to 13 hours. It was crazy. You take your breaks, you go to Starbucks, you come back, and I would go to take the test, and I would get C+, B+ sometimes. It wasn't always, but it was hurt your soul.
Yeah,
it hurts you. It's you've been in the library for this long, and then that's the grade. So, but I pushed through, and and that's another thing. You have to figure out what works for you on how you study. Do you make the index cards? Do you do it like this? Do you read it like this? Do you break it down like that? So
writing it out was always my go-to. I have to write it down to retain the info.
So I'm good at memorizing. So I would do everything that I could, which I think index cards worked for me like that in the sense of flipping over. But if the test wasn't aligned like that, where it was a multiple choice right to the answer, you had to write it out. You had to be prepared for all of it. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, listen. It is what it is.
Happy it's over.
I got the degree.
Happy it's over.
And yeah, so then I left and I auditioned. I auditioned for the Knicks. I auditioned for the Brooklyn Nets. The Knicks wasn't. It was great, but again, not my type of dance. And once I went to Brooklyn, I was like, I love this. And each year I made it to literally the very last round.
So those have to be pretty intensive. There's got to be tons of people trying out for that.
So many lines are out the door. I think my first day was the first time I auditioned for Brooklyn. They said that it wasn't how it usually was. It was a shorter amount of time. It was 3 days. And then my second time, I really got the experience because you would dance in a formation. You would dance with props. So my legs would be bruised.
Oh yeah, done.
Bruised. I was taking Epsom salt baths all the time. It was, but yeah, those were really draining because it was days after days. And I would literally, the 2 years that I did it, I made it back to back you were standing there. You were either going to get called to be on the team or it was over. And I didn't make it both years.
Talk about palpitations. You're just sitting there.
Oh my God. It was
double beat. And you're
parents.
Oh my God, no.
Crying. I'm why am I not on the team? Why am I So after that, I was all right, I have to make money. So I joined my, where I am still now, my DJ company that I love. And I dance for them on the weekend, mainly bar and bat mitzvahs and stuff. But talk about networking. I've met so many great people. So, yeah. So dancing wise, I was there and I worked then in the office for them under the production end of the company for a couple of years.
And you guys are all over the tri-state area?
Oh my God, all over.
Cool.
I could travel to Jersey, upstate, Rye, Westchester area, Connecticut, Long Island, obviously. But yeah, I've actually been to New Orleans once for a party.
Really?
They flew us out. It was great.
All right, so here's my take. So people that listen to the podcast, my buddy Tyler and I, we went to New Orleans and we had our own podcast, and he had his own little issues down in New Orleans that some friends of ours would remember. We had to take that episode down off the air though. How did you like the city?
I feel like if you step up, what's the main street?
Bourbon. Once
you step off of it, you're okay, it's not Party Central everywhere. Because I feel when you go to Manhattan, you could always find an exciting but it was once you're off there, just be, you know,
It's an interesting place.
it's interesting.
Yeah, we're gonna leave it there. I like
I
to
couldn't
see.
do much partying. I mean, we were there for work. Like we had one night out. It was awesome. We got to experience Bourbon Street. I was work, and we had a dinner one night. But then I had to, you know, work, and then we flew out the next day. But it wasn't like I didn't walk outside my hotel and see like beads everywhere and stuff. You had to go to Bourbon Street. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but it was an experience. I mean, the beignets were awesome,
What? Oh, stop! You're Italian. Stop it.
which is literally
Do
a
you see-
Zeppelin. It's
do-
a Zeppelin.
Do you see how she just lied?
It's a
She said, "Oh,
Zeppelin."
the beignets were awesome." No, they were not. They are Zeppelis, and they jacked our style.
They're Zeppelis. They're Zeppelis. I was cracking up though because I was expecting it to be something different. I'm like, it's a Zeppelin. Like
No.
what?
No, it's supposed to be. You think it's going to be this religious event where you sit there and you eat it and you go, "Wow, I'm seeing the heavens right in front of me." Nah, I've had this during Christmas time every year
I'm like,
since I was little.
Wait, this is a Zepp. I mean, it was delicious, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Yeah.
But I
That's
was
powdered
like, this
sugar. Powdered sugar always hits the lips, and you just go, "Oh my god, life's great."
Yeah. So no, it was an experience for sure.
And when did you go there? What month were you there?
Oh,
Because we were there in
No.
July.
it wasn't summer. It wasn't summer. I'm sure you were dying. Yeah, no, it wasn't summer.
Oh man, I should
the nights
I should
had,
have
like, a
invested in
cool-
Hanes shirts and just been swapping them out. Like it was bad.
It was definitely. I can't imagine though because it was still hot when we went, and like I remember like the night that we got to go out and we were dancing, I was like sweating. So
Done. Toasted. Yeah, I was like, I'm good on this. My cousin, it was for his bachelor party. He's like, oh, you think you ever come back? Nope, I'm good on this.
not that month at
So-
least.
saw it. Now I'm good on this. I'm gonna go back up north.
Correct. It was a cool experience.
Yeah.
Do I want to like? Am I in a rush to go back? Probably not. No.
All right. So speaking of traveling, because I have to segue because I made a comment to you that I was like, damn, out traveling again. You've been crazy
Yeah.
jet setting.
Yeah, a lot of traveling this year.
Where's your favorite place to go? Where have you, besides New York, because obviously you call this place home, and it has its pros and cons. We talk about it
Okay.
all the time.
Yeah.
Where do you like to go the most? Like, where have you been that's been a great experience?
Well, it's so difficult.
She's gonna say Virgin Islands. She's gonna say something,
No,
something,
no.
something tropical.
No. Well, first of all, even though it's Long Island, you're gonna laugh. Out east is beautiful, and
love
I'm
it.
talking about everyone who lives in Nassau is like, oh, you live out east. No, that's not out east. Out east is like Hamptons to Montauk. That's at least for me.
Yeah.
And the beaches there are beautiful. I love the towns and everything. Like, I have a house out there, gratefully. Like, so I love being out there in the summer. So in an easy traveling way, I would say out east.
Yeah, quick hour, jam to some tunes, hour and a half.
Hour.
Oh, I mean,
What
how
are you-
slow are you driving?
Not slow, but you're talking about the main time to go there is the summer. It
Yeah,
takes-
you go at night or something. You take the travel out of the equation.
Oh yeah, and just wait for those cops. They're waiting for you.
I mean, we get a radar detector. We stay lurking and watching.
Gotta get the ways up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like the quick. If you want to see something beautiful, travel. Like people that have never been here, I said come in the summer and just go out east.
I love the North Fork too. North Fork's awesome.
Oh, North Fork's
Just when you start hitting the winding
beautiful.
roads, you got the vineyards on both sides. It's awesome.
Oh my god, my best friend's wedding out there is in June. I'm so excited.
Oh, that's awesome.
Love it. Okay. Well, I mean, I've been all over. Like I've been.
Lay it on me.
I went to Thailand.
Thailand sounds cool.
Thailand was awesome. I just went with two of my girlfriends and it was an experience of itself. So that was awesome. I mean, you got to literally on an elephant. Like what? Like just walking around on an elephant.
Closest
like,
thing you saw that was the Bronx Zoo. You're like, I'm actually touching this thing now.
I've never been to the Bronx Zoo.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. You're not missing much. It's not that great.
I feel like you have to go. Like they're like the fact that I live here and like haven't done certain things, I feel like you have to. But then it's like where all the tourists go, and then it's like you don't want to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You were waiting in line. It's like going to Six Flags. You were waiting in line. It's like
literally.
okay.
Where else?
But what were some traveling tips for Thailand? What did you like the most out there besides riding an elephant? That's all you did? You just drove there, rode an elephant, just flew
the
back?
Elephant, right, the elephant.
Peace.
We started in Bangkok,
Okay.
and that was awesome. Just like New Orleans with Bourbon Street, they had. I'm not even going to attempt to say it, but look it up. There's a main road. It's like San something, and it's when it's all closed down. And they have like, little boutique shops like you can, and open bars. There's music going on. Literally having signs for like happy gas. I'm not even kidding.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Offers to see a ping pong show If you don't know what that is, I'm not going to explain it here.
I've got some ideas from jokes.
Look it up.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really cool. So the town was cool. Then we went to, where did we go next? We went to Chiang Mai. That's where the elephants were. That was once you're out of the city, the rest of it's kind of, you got to experience, more of like I don't want to say suburban, it's not suburban, but like it was just not city life. It was beautiful, and I got to see more animals. Elephants. I got to also we got to play with like little baby tigers, and then we saw the big tigers too.
Yeah, I'm good on those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little sad because they sedate them a little bit. It's sad.
You mean and in the
Like
sanctuaries?
just to keep
because
them,
so this way they don't maul the tourists when they
Yeah,
go and
but
pet
it's,
them.
like,
They're like,
sad.
oh, look, it's Tigger. And they, nah, he's
little
half
sad,
asleep. Yeah.
So the monkeys, everything. So that was really cool. And then we went to Phuket, which is where their beaches are.
Yeah. And those large rock formations, right?
Yeah. Well, okay. So
in the middle of the water. That's what I'm thinking of.
Phi Phi Islands, and yes, it is Phi Phi Islands. It's PHI, and we were calling it Fifi the whole time as if we knew exactly what. Nope, it's Phi Phi, everyone. It really is.
Pee-pee.
I'm giving you that announcement.
Don't be a rookie when you go there.
It is.
Pee-pee.
So that was beautiful. If I had to go back, I would spend a night there. We didn't look into Phuket that much because we just knew they were known for their beaches. It was beautiful there, which it was. But
was it like a day trip?
It was just a day trip.
Gotcha.
So it was pretty quick. But they do like this, what is it called? Like if you stay over there, they have like this whole like nightlife. There's like, like there's a bonfire going on. Like you do like all the paintings and stuff. It's called something.
Henna?
I forgot. No, it's not henna. They're actually like painting you and stuff. And like I know, you're going to look it up.
I'm gonna hit the Google machine. What would I type? Painting in Thailand?
No, well, Phi Phi Islands, but it's, I can't even take it.
It's a family show.
I swear that's how it's called.
Phi Island, huh?
But you spelled it PHI, right? PHI.
Oh, awkward.
What'd you do?
P-I-P-I. So what do I type? PPI? Island
like
painting?
Like see what comes up. It's called something, I think. It's like some sort of, if they do like a certain party.
I don't know what I'm reading. Read something. Was it stuff like this? Whoa.
I don't know if I want to see that.
Yeah, I know.
Well, also, did you put in the correct thing? Wait. Well, that's the island. How
tip box.
Oh, I'm screaming. No, but how beautiful. I was actually literally like right there.
That's insane. Okay.
I don't know. It's some sort of cool party that you can. So definitely, if you go to Thailand,
party.
Yeah. Well, also too. I mean, once you're there, it's so cheap.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Oh my God, we had another thing we did in Bangkok. We went to the floating market. That was really cool. There's two, but we wanted to do like the legit one. So it was about an hour and a half, 2 hours away. So we needed a car service for the whole day. And their money's bought, and we were looking. I think the hotel said it was like, I don't know, some crazy $1,000 baht type money, and we like obviously, please hold. We're like looking what it is.
Hitting the conversion app.
The conversion. It was literally $30 for the day, not per person. $30 for the day.
Damn! Oh, you're pulling my leg. Here, I'll give you 50.
It was crazy, but. That was really cool too at the floating market. You had to get there by a boat.
And it's just all food.
And then you can get off the boat and you can like walk around and stuff. And then you have to get back on the boat to get back. And it was very cool. It's just different lifestyle. Get to experience it all. We did like a food tour. So, on their tuk-tuks. I love their tuk-tuks. The tuk-tuks are the little carts that, it looks like
the rickshaws.
It looks like a golf cart, but like, not. It actually drives a lot faster. Some of them had music in them, like
oh really,
stuff like that. So we took those all around. Stopped. They would bring us to the food places and stuff. So definitely recommend Thailand for sure.
Okay,
Thailand's a spot.
I dig. I haven't gone as far as Thailand. I've done Switzerland, Italy, France.
Italy, I've done.
I got to do Germany next year. I have to do India next year for work, and then I did Dubai 3.5 weeks ago. Dubai's an interesting place.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
No.
Yeah, I got like the real Dubai experience. I didn't get like the glitz and glam show all. Like no, I was just in warehouse gyms and just back alley. It was
Probably,
cool.
yeah.
It was cool, but it was tough. Like when I do these trips, I have a lot of people that go. They come up to me, they're like, "Oh my god, how was the trip?" And I go, "It's work. Like it's
Yeah.
it's a lot to do. I don't get to like. I would love to go on a trip like that and what you did and like see the sights and
Yes.
experience it, this
Yeah.
and that. Like I follow the guy that I'm filming around, so
Yeah.
it's like sunrise, sunset. He doesn't stop training. So I was
Yeah.
in gyms, I was in back alleys, the expo center, and then the hotel room.
Yeah,
So
which is an experience of itself.
oh, without question.
So, yeah, no, I've never been. I've been to Italy, Amalfi Coast. Well, I gotta tell you, actually, if there was my favorite, Capri Amalfi Coast. It's just beautiful.
I don't think I did that. I went to Cinque Terre. That was probably the closest coastline that I went to, and then I was in Venice, Rome.
So you
Florence.
did all, yeah, you
I
did.
did all like the hot spots.
We went north, on our way out, like because the airport was in Rome and stuff. So once we stayed in Capri, and then we took a ferry to Positano.
Okay.
And that's the whole Amalfi Coast. And then we drove up. We went to Pompeii. Got a little historical over there.
Pompeii's wild.
Oh, it's first of all, everything that happened over there is crazy.
Wild.
Crazy. Like you really see frozen. It's crazy. And it was hot. Oh my god, it was so hot. And then we went up to Rome, and we ended in Rome. But Amalfi Coast, Positano, Mediterranean. Oh my god, that I'll go back to. That was my favorite.
I don't think I've done. I want to do that. I want to go see the coast and drive up.
I mean, that's a trip of its own.
Yeah.
Like it's beautiful. There was a restaurant that you got to by boat, and like you could like lay out in the rocks, and then you just walk up and you go eat, and everything's so fresh. The food, that's huge for me. The food. So.
And what's wild is you could just eat, and you don't gain any weight.
Oh my god, no!
Like over here, it's the food is totally different. You eat, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I sniff a pizza in the parlor around here, and I gain weight. I'm like, what the hell? How did this happen?
I feel like I am literally that person at the supermarket looking at everything, and I'm like, you know what? Like, get clean. Try not to get everything like packaged all the time, and you're fine. So,
Yeah, you just do this. Stay on the outsides of the grocery aisle.
literally,
Like, oh damn, but they got Pop-Tarts right there. That's all right. Keep walking past.
literally, and your little snacks. But yeah, I traveled a lot. I went to Iceland.
Iceland's cool.
Iceland was very cool, and Iceland's only a 4-hour flight.
That's not bad.
No, you would think it's like, but yeah, Iceland, Italy, Thailand. Yeah, I did some big traveling.
So Amalfi Coast is probably your favorite. You said
Yeah.
that's the number one rank.
Yeah, and I'm also a water gal, so I love the ocean and everything. So
Have you done France?
no.
Loved France. Loved Paris. I loved Nice, even though I went off season. I saw Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo was
Oh,
cool.
I'm sure that was beautiful.
If I'm ranking for me, Switzerland was my favorite out of
I want
everywhere.
to go to Switzerland, and because I also want to skydive in Switzerland.
Yeah, that I didn't do.
Nah.
That's all you. And you let me know how that is.
Yeah.
I can't go on a ladder without getting a little bit of.
No.
I'm good on this.
Yeah. See, roller coasters. Me.
Nope.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Nope. I'll wave. Hey,
Yeah.
good.
Love it.
Switzerland was amazing.
Love
I wish I could turn my phone on and show you the picture. I'll have to show you after the show. There was a picture that I took of the sun rising behind a mountain behind my hotel where we were staying. Right. I mean, it literally looked like a screensaver.
Yeah.
I was amazed that this is like what I'm looking at the second I wake up in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a beautiful country. Everything is like scenic. You see the little houses on the side of the mountains, and we found this pub about a mile away from our hotel that was already on the side of a
Best.
mountain, and we just walked down there. They had this whole corner table. We were getting food and drinking beers, and then you stumble out a little buzzed up, and you look, and you're just like on the side of a damn mountain right now. This is crazy.
Yeah.
This is like nothing like I'm used to back home.
Yep.
And it was such a cool experience.
Yeah. Arizona's beautiful too. Been there.
Arizona's all right.
I thought
Too hot. Don't say it's a dry heat. Don't
that's
say
where
that.
we filmed.
Oh, is that where you filmed? Oh, really?
Scottsdale.
I would think it would be in California that they do the film. In California, Miami.
That's where I thought it was going to be.
Interesting.
Scottsdale. Yep.
Okay, so now I guess we're gonna pivot now. So, yeah, so you graduate college, you're doing your thing with dance, which you were trying to get the auditions and this and that, and it didn't pan out the direction you thought it was going to.
Yeah.
And you start focusing on the DJ company and then the hair salon.
Yeah. So what's nice about the hair salon, it's my family business, so I always knew it was there. It was just not something I wanted to like lean on immediately. So
Is it because you wanted to make your own way, or is it because you weren't just totally vested mentally into it?
Well, yeah, no, I think my biggest difficulty is just like trying to find like my niche, because there's so many things that like I like to do. Like it was dance, and then I've done things with modeling and commercials and stuff like that, which that is the industry. You're always going to be doing a million different things, and that's why I think that. And I'm it's just not going to happen. Like, and I think I figured that out being in the office. Like I can't do like a 9 to 5 sit down. Like I have to be able to get up and go and do things. And it was a great experience. I learned a lot. So when I left the office, I stayed on the dancing end of the weekends, still am there. But I leaned on my mom for the in-between while I was trying to figure out other things. But you know what? It's there for a reason. And because I am there, I get to do those side hustles still, because my mom owns it. You know, I manage it. And if I need to like go off to do a thing for modeling or a commercial or just anything, AKA the show, I can take that time off and, you know, go do that. So it ended up just being great to be with a family business at that point.
Okay.
So,
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That it afforded you the ability to be flexible, because not a lot of things would be able to. So that's great.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I love the industry, first of all, and I love all my staff, but I feel like it's like my mom's dream if I'm there permanently. So why I love though being there is because I do know the industry very well. I know at the back of my hand. You know, I'm very much a people person. Like I love all my clientele, and when you know something that well, in the sense of like selling, as we were talking about earlier, like I can sell everything in the salon as well. I use everything in the salon, so I do well on that aspect. However, I love that it is flexible because I can still go off and do things that I love, which one thing was, you know, always wanting to be on TV. I didn't know how it would happen, or I just knew that I was never shy from the camera. So like performing, dancing, everything, modeling, whichever. And then, yeah. And
Well, you said you did commercials prior.
Yeah, nothing big. Like I've done like little things on the problem, like I never went into like a company and like signed with them or anything like that. A lot of things I got from networking and just word of mouth. So they were never like huge things, but I don't take any opportunity and look at it like little or anything. It leads you to somewhere, you meet people, you network, and it's done so well for me. So I try to be a little more aggressive on that end though, because that's really where I want to rear, like entertainment in some sort of way.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so now, how did
Double Shot come along?
were you actually looking for love?
Okay, so there's a back end to this a little bit.
Talk to me.
So before Double Shot came along, my family and my closest friends have been trying to get me on The Bachelor.
Okay.
I swear. So I actually auditioned for The Bachelor for like 4 years straight. I never reached out to them on my own. They would get the whatever submission you put in. And like my cousins and my friends were doing it. So they're probably like, wow, this girl really needs to find someone. Meanwhile, they were just like, Erika, you could do it. You would look great. So I did it for 4 years. Spoke to the same producer every year. Which at that point I'm like, you really need me to send in the same information? I'm like,
just shoot me a text.
Hello. So I did it and never got it. They called me each time, 4 years, never got it. I'm like, all right, everyone enough. I was like, stop putting in for this. Like it's done with.
So what happens? What is the reasoning that they I mean,
sometimes I don't even tell you. Sometimes I actually had to reach out to them and say, hey, just following up on like whatever I sent in, and then they'd be like, I'm so sorry. Like they're so quick to call you, and then it like you never hear anything.
Yeah, they ghost you real quick.
Yes. So I'm like, all right, everyone, like enough. Like, because people don't realize it's actually a lot of work behind the scenes. What you have to, because first it's paperwork, then a video, then all this. So it was a lot, and I'm like, enough, everyone, enough. So no one put it. Thank God. And it just really goes to show though that like, just keep manifesting and believing, and you never know what's going to happen, because it may not even happen the way you think it's going to happen. So I think it was literally a little less than a year later, my best friend from college's sister gets a DM, and they messaged her, and they were looking for people for the 3rd season of Double Shot. For people that don't know Double Shot of Love, It's started with Vinny and Pauly to find love, double shot. And they did 2 seasons. And then my season came in was the 3rd. My season was just for Vinny though, because Pauly I actually did find someone from the show who he's still with till this day, who I actually really do adore. So, but I didn't get the message. So my best friend's sister gets the message, and it's pretty much like, hey, we're interested in you, blah, blah, blah. Gave a whole lowdown. She was like, she shows her sister, who's my best friend, and was like, oh my God, tell them about Erika. And I don't know any of this until all of a sudden she texts me, and pretty much they gave my information. I heard from them. And then this is how you know things are moving, because it just happens like boom, 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 boom. I get on the phone with them. I fill out an application. A phone call leads to a Zoom. Zoom leads to a Skype. Leads to another one. Before I know it, I'm being flown out to Arizona, which is where they held a show.
Okay.
Funny enough, I didn't know though what show it was going to be before I got there.
So what did they tell you?
They said it's going to be a brand new show, and I'm sure this is so obviously things don't, get out, but me, I'm like, oh my God, new show, blah, blah, blah. So I knew it
It's
was,
okay.
sorry.
It's okay. These are durable. Punt. Give it a shot too.
I knew it was a dating show. I didn't know who it was going to be. I didn't know what it was called. They just said, they gave us the back end that it would be a dating show.
Makes sense, because I did an MTV interview.
Did you?
Yeah, years ago.
For?
Don't know. So that's why when you said that, it reminded me of that experience.
I mean, it does make sense now, because I'm sure meanwhile though, I truly, sometimes things just go right over my head. Everyone said that there was one of the forms that we got to fill out something before going, and it said it on the paperwork supposedly. And I didn't even realize. And so some people actually went into it knowing, but yeah, so they flew us in, and we had a quarantine. That was it was 2021. So it was still pretty prime COVID time, which actually it's just to rewind really quick. I make it all 2020 without getting COVID, right?
Yep. Here it comes.
It's a little over 2 weeks before I'm supposed to leave.
Good.
I get COVID.
Yep.
I am furious. I am so upset. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Once in a lifetime opportunity, and you're gonna hit me now?
Yep.
So I had to go through all the protocols. I had to do obviously the full blown 14 days, get the CDC to approve me. It was like a whole thing. So I was a little bit behind actually to the girls that were already
So they started
there.
filming without you?
No. Not filming.
Oh, okay.
Because once you're there, you have to quarantine anyways, and they handle, things behind the scenes
Okay.
or whatever they're doing. But I was still a little behind. So I went from being in my own house for full 14 days, if not more, actually. Then I get flown out, and then I ended up quarantining for almost 30 days. I was stuck in a room.
Please get me out of here.
So I was very eager to get out and go. So finally, though, I finally make it. And that's how I was known in the beginning. Oh, you're the girl. I'm like, thanks.
Yeah, the COVID girl. It's great.
That's great. So quarantine, and then we get the show going. And then it's so funny because when we were there, I didn't realize how many girls were there, but all the when you're there, you still don't know if you're actually on me. I'm thinking that I am.
What do they have, reserves?
I don't know. There were just extra people, I guess, just in case or whatever. So anyways, they finally congratulate me while I'm there, and they're like, you're on. And then we find out when we're there, what it's going to be.
Okay.
And who it's going to be with. Cause I guess if you wanted to leave, you were allowed to leave. So
okay.
That was that. Yeah. And
so you're out there, you quarantine, they tell you you're on the show. Now, do you start filming right then and there, or you fly back and then you go back because now you're on the show?
No, the flying there. So typically, like I said, because it was COVID times, you would have went to Cali. They would have met you in person. I'm pretty sure it was California where they would have flown you. So they had to do everything via Zoom, and really get to know you there. Because there was one Zoom that it was really long because you had to the different people that you would have met, you had to do on the Zoom call. So whether it's like the producer or the casting or whoever. So you just met a lot of people before going. But yes, typically you would have flown somewhere, met them, and came back and got word. But in this case, because of COVID, they really wanted to make sure like there wasn't a lot of like traveling on the in between. So once you flew there, quarantined, they put you behind like they wanted to see you like obviously on camera and stuff like that. And then I think it was no longer than like a week in the room, if not less. And then
You're on.
And then you're on.
And then how long are you filming
obviously
for?
Everything's set up. Like you know what like you're gonna wear and stuff like that, and they prep you and everything. But
are they telling you what to wear?
well, you could bring things, but I think so that no one really matches. Like they want to like just approve. Like, but
Gotcha.
I always got to like actually pick everything out, and then like even during like I could wear really wherever. Like they would give us an idea like sporty day or something like that.
Yeah.
But the dress I wore, that orange dress on the first day, like I like chose it myself, and then they just approved it.
Stand out. Love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to shine right when you walk out.
I know. I wanted to go for the neutrals, and I was like, gotta pop.
Got to pop a little bit.
Gotta pop.
All right. So now you start filming. How long is filming? And the show's structure is every week? Because now, once again, I told you I'm not totally familiar with the show.
Yeah.
Which is cool because I want you to. It's cool to like not know and go into it with questions.
No, 100%. I mean, we went into it blindfold. I had no idea. Like some girls, like not that they've been on shows before, but I think they had a little more idea.
They make their rounds on the shows, or they make their rounds on, I guess, watching it as a fan.
I guess or just like because they've been like on camera for other things or stuff like that. So it's just like so funny. I'm like, yep, this Long Island girl just out of nowhere, you know, obviously like loved my loudness and stuff like that.
It's built into us. It's a
which
software
took
update.
Place in a episode that I don't like to talk about. So yeah, you go like you.
And so now what is the they put you guys through obstacle courses. What is the?
Yeah. So if you watched the episodes, like we've done like games, because you would try to win. You were either trying to win a one-on-one or a group date, depending on which like day it was and what type of setup it was. Like my first one-on-one date when I won, it ended up being a one-on-one. It was actually they brought a carnival. Oh, so if anyone didn't watch the show, a huge thing also is because it was COVID times, we stayed. The whole resort was just for us.
Oh, damn. They
so
booked out
I forgot
everything.
the name of the resort. It was beautiful. We were in Scottsdale. But typically on the show, like you watch season 1 and 2, they'll drive them out to this restaurant, to that place. They'll do like really big, extravagant things. We had to like figure everything out on site because you couldn't travel. You couldn't really like run around. Because again, during that time, if anyone, which is where I say thank you to God, universe, whoever, for giving me COVID before I went, because if anyone got COVID, it would shut down the whole thing.
Wow.
It would shut down the whole thing. You would have to stop. I think another, at the time when I was talking to one of the producers, like another show of theirs or something, someone got it and they had to like shut down for like over 2 weeks, like, and stuff like that. I think they got it back up and filming, but sometimes it could just completely shut it down.
Yeah, to screech and halt.
Because what are you going to do with everyone? You know what I mean? Because even if it's just one person, like it doesn't.
Now maybe
it doesn't
3
matter.
others are going to get it, so
And
you
that
have
was
to
for
keep
anyone,
everybody separated.
That was for anyone, by the way. It could have been a producer. It could have been anyone a part of the show. It didn't matter. If you were in the bubble and you got COVID, you were done. Like, so.
Stressful.
Yeah.
Stressful.
So
For something that you're not actually like trying to get or do. You're like.
Correct. But that's why I was like, you know what? It worked out. Thank God I got it for. But
team antibodies.
Literally. So so you just go in, you're mic'd up, cameras following you all the time. Like these people become like your best friends because they're in your face 24/7. Like I think the most trouble I got into was because I was talking to the camera people way too much.
Yeah.
They were like, focus, like, because you can't like look obviously in the camera and start speaking to them.
Psst, you're on a date with him. Stop looking at us.
So so back to the date though. But the way I won my one-on-one was they actually brought like all carnival stuff to us, and they set it up in a parking lot, which was really cool. And that was like the first time things actually started getting out too. Obviously, I don't have my phone or anything, but my friends were stalking as much as they could outside. And because we were outside the resort at that point, if people were passing by, they had their phones. So that was like the first time people caught footage of me there. Because people were like sending it or whatever. It was like blurry and from a distance, but you saw the whole carnival.
Paparazzi type stuff.
Oh yes, paparazzi. So that's how I won my one-on-one. But then there was another one where we were like in the water doing a team race, and then you could win like a group date. You know what I mean? So, and then it really was like Bachelor style, where you have to. My biggest thing is I watched. I actually never watched the first 2 seasons of Double Shot. So I like was kind of comparing it more to like, Bachelor style. And it's so funny because, the girls that I made friends with and stuff, we would laugh. We were like, oh my God, we really have to be those people. Like, excuse me, like, can I have a chance to talk to, like, you had to do it. It was so awkward, but you had to do it. So, that was like the biggest thing I dreaded doing because you never want to be that person, but it's what you had to do in order
to play the game.
You have to play the game.
Yeah.
You have to. It's reality, but like almost like in a dating show way. I feel like it was still like a reality game in a sense because you had to be strategic about it. Like if you wanted more time with him, you had to do this. You had to get your attention this way, something like that. So I had like my little ways to not be like so obnoxious and like run through and like we had a bonfire episode. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to wait till I make eye contact. And they caught me on camera too. And I went like this to him and kind of gave the finger like, you and I talk instead of like interrupting or getting up. And that was just like how I wanted to handle it. And it happened that way.
More
too.
subtle.
Yeah. Way more subtle. But it was
dating apps. Dating shows are a very interesting concept to me.
Yeah, but if you want to go back to dating apps, one thing that made me not give a crap to do it is because I can't with the apps. I can't. I would rather fly out, be filmed, and meet someone in person than deal with a dating app, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, I feel that.
I tried. I've done them all. They are ex-nay. They are gone.
All right, so I'm always intrigued because great personality. You're a beautiful girl. I mean, there's no denying any of it. So,
thank you.
I mean, it's like a weird question to ask, but like, did you feel like you needed to do the show to actually, you know what I'm saying? Like to find somebody?
Yeah, I mean,
it's just not happening organically, I guess. Because I'm always intrigued from a female side perspective because, like,
I mean.
Could you bring up the apps too? So I'm always curious.
Well, it gave me a little bit of also best of both worlds. I wasn't meeting anyone, and I've always wanted to be on TV in some sort of way also. So I was like, listen, it does work for some people. I'm not saying that every relationship's successful from doing it, but like, who am I to say that it couldn't? You know what I mean?
Without question.
And then once I knew it was Vinny also, I was like, you know what? No matter what it is, this kid's from the East Coast, grew up in Staten Island. I'm sure we have plenty of similarities, and I was like, good looking kid. If it was Ronnie, I might have had to like double think for a second. Cause I was, once they said, like we found out like Jersey Shore cast, I was like cracking up to myself. Cause I was like the only two that were single. So like there was a big 50-50 right there. Yeah. But, and I was like, why not? You know what I mean? I was like, why not? What is the worst that happens?
Yeah. You get your name out there, you do your thing, you have fun.
What is the worst that happens? I did it, and I took it. I probably took it a little too seriously, but that's just who I am. I was 100% myself. You know what I mean? And I think everyone definitely knew how to maneuver it in a certain way, and I was just kind of like blockers. I'm here for one reason. And no regrets. I really don't. Like, it was a great experience. I mean, like, amazing production company. Like, love them. Really do. Everyone that worked there. It was a great time. I mean, and even Vinny Pauly and then Nikki, who, by the way, is, I know you don't watch, but is Pauly's.
That's his girlfriend?
Okay. Yeah. Great relationship with them. Like, they were awesome people. Like, I never had, everyone's like, oh my God, are they really. The one person that actually was different than I thought was going to be in person was Vinny himself. He's such an like an introvert. Like, I really didn't realize how quiet and shy he really was. Whereas Pauly is who he is to a T. Like, there's no making, that is how he is. You know what I mean? So, Yeah, which worked on my benefit because, like, obviously, being loud and outgoing and stuff like that, it was able to like bring him out of his shell, and
Which
it
is
was
good.
fun and it was good. So, yeah, it was a great experience. I met, not everyone, but I met a few great friends. So,
Was there beef
which
behind?
that
Was there beef behind the scenes
Oh
with
yeah.
the girls?
So there is, if you want to, I don't recommend
You don't
it,
have to.
but there's
You don't have
one
to. Yeah, you don't have
episode-
to give me names. I mean, it's
No, not worth it. But there was one episode where you could probably figure it out for yourself.
okay.
And
You know, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go binge watch this now when I get home. Like this
just
is
look up Erika D.
okay.
Fight, and you'll find it. It was when Angelina came. No, I'm not like throwing fists. It's
Okay.
all my mouth, but I'm like, I get loud. I have my moment. I think-
Angelina from Jersey Shore.
yeah, which funny
Interesting.
enough though, it wasn't even with her. It was just she happened to be in there in that episode, which everyone was laughing about too, because they were like, no matter what, like, and what do they call her? Like Hurricane Angelina or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
And
I remember when I used to watch Jersey Shore years and years ago.
yeah. So, well, that was the real life with the group too. They were like, because I guess the cast with the Staten Island dump and all that stuff. So we had to like literally get garbages and swim them back. It's funny. I mean, it was great. It was a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I was like, how am I not going to take it? You know what I mean? But I'm aware of how it's like. I'm aware of what it's like to be mic'd up, cameras, and like that didn't bother me. Like we had a girl that left because it became too overwhelming.
It's
for
a
her.
lot.
Like
It's a lot for some people.
and you could think that you're fine and not be when you get there. Like you know what I
No.
mean?
Yeah,
So-
once I do a lot of interviews. So like once, and I tell people all the time, like I get a lot of people that are nervous to do interviews, and I get a lot of people that are, I'm gonna ace this, and it's not always the case. Like once I turn like this light here, I use multi-point lights for interviews. Once I put 3 lights on somebody, a shotgun mic, above head, and a lav mic on them,
Yeah.
it's like and go. I'm like, yeah, it gets real quick.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's nothing against you. I've dealt with people that are great, people that aren't. But like you said, you don't know. Like you could think like it's different when you do a Zoom. When you do a Zoom call
yeah.
in your bed, comfort of your home,
Yep.
no one's hanging over you and
Yep.
watching everything that you're saying. Like
Yep.
it's okay, we're good. And then you get there, whoa, everything is recorded.
Yep.
So you got to really watch yourself and make sure that, because at the end of the day, yeah, it's cool to win a show and to be chosen and this and that. But, after the show is over, you still have a public image that you have to uphold and look in a certain light
Oh,
because this is
yeah.
forever. So
Mhm.
for me, I would be I'd be like, I got to make sure I don't go too much on this, and I got to keep.
Well, that was a huge thing. My biggest thing was because anything could be cut a certain way. So my biggest thing was like, how will I be portrayed? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot, if nerves ever kicked in any way, which they really never did until my special episode, I was like so nervous that like, is it gonna like how is it gonna look like, because my head spins like that. I think of everything. Like actually a huge thing that they picked up on me was I'm aware of all my surroundings. That's just how I am. Like I just peripheral vision, everything. Like I actually, yeah, you too.
Same way.
Like I actually knew Angelina was there before she came out and did her thing because I saw things that I wasn't supposed to see, but not because I was searching for it.
No.
I'm just so aware.
Aware. My grandfather used to tell me all the time, be aware of your surroundings, Nikki.
Yeah.
Always.
Yes. So sometimes I felt like they had to like shock me, and that's how I felt on the because I made it to the finale of the season, and I didn't win, but I felt that day I had to be like almost like tricked in a sense because like I felt like they probably knew I could have picked it up on some sort of way, and they wanted to get the real reaction, which they definitely did. So yeah, that was probably the biggest nerve-wracking thing though, like overthinking, okay, how are they gonna like portray, because you could speak and say however, but it could still be it's TV in the end.
It's all in the
TV.
editing. Trust me, I get it. I can make somebody look like shit in an edit, and
Yeah.
I can make somebody look like a god.
Yeah.
It's all the editing and how it's portrayed, especially with words. You can chop up interview clips, and it's wild how they can really just put a spin on it to And they try to sell sensationalism, especially on reality shows.
Yes.
Whether it was your show or another show, they try to get what? Did you see what happened on the commercial? We got to watch the episode. What? Oh my! They try to spin that to get more views and get people intrigued and interested, because everything just goes very even keeled and status quo. No one's gonna watch it.
Yeah.
People want to see the drama. They want to see all the craziness.
Of course.
So they want to see your crazy episode, which I can't wait to go home and see now.
Yeah. So, and forget about it. Those commercials, pit in my stomach because it was made out. I was like, oh boy.
And every time it would run, you're just like this.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Again? It's on again?
Yep.
Oh my God.
FaceTiming my friends. I'm like, guys. But no, great. I had the best support. Like my family, my friends, and like I said, like it was nerve-wracking because I wasn't sure if I was going to even make any friends also. So the fact that I did too, I know it wasn't about that at the time, but it's like you're somewhere for, I think I ended up there close to 2 months, I think.
It's a long time.
Yeah. You're like in this bubble, like you're literally in a bubble. And now I understand all the emotions too. Because like I used to say like, is this person really crying on spot? Like when you go into like the interviews and stuff, but like, you don't understand, like there's so much like buildup that like you can't even explain. So like, yeah, sometimes you're just gonna cry or yell or scream or whatever. So, and that part people don't, always pick up on, but yeah, it was crazy, but guess what? I would do it again.
Do it again in a heartbeat.
I would do it again. I mean, I don't like know about like even if it had to be dating or anything. I mean, I'm not dating anyone right now, so if it came like to me right now, like I would be up for it. But anything like with the camera, like it didn't scare me. Like it didn't. Like I felt like I had family behind the scenes, and I could just be myself. Actually, I probably would be even more myself. I feel like if it wasn't a dating show, because I feel like once a dating show becomes like, you want to like make sure everything's kind of, I don't know, like
it's like that first. It's like that first date experience, but for 2 months. You want to be on your best behavior
by the way,
and impress.
Too, that was like you're just coming out of like almost like a huge quarantine, also, and stuff like that. Like that was the first out of like shutting down the world, like and stuff like that. So it's like you got to know how to date again, how you're gonna do this. Let alone now against how many girls were there in the end? I think like 19 total or whatever. So I'm like,
I haven't spoken to anybody in months. It's crazy. Right? I only speak to my friends. I got to interact.
And the quarantine you had to do before that. So like you really like you were snapped into like
and no phone when you're in your quarantine. When you got there.
No,
when you got there in Arizona.
Yeah, they really did great with keeping it like under the. I don't think really anyone.
So during your quarantine, what were you doing?
A lot of TV. I luckily brought some workout stuff. Of course, had to work out. Which at that point I was like glad I did that because I was also gaining my strength back because like I was just getting off from being sick. So I did that. I literally called one day and I was like, "Can I get like a coloring book or something?" Like so I like was coloring. Yeah, you find certain things.
They come, they're like, "Hey, we're just checking on you. How you doing? Look, it's all in the lines. It's all in the how many days have I been in here? It's been an hour.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?"
Yeah. And you would think like you could just sleep, but like I couldn't. Like I couldn't sit still. I'm not that. I was like, all right, I tried to give myself actually like a routine. So like I knew it to break up the day a little bit. So yeah, it was sick. It was a cool experience.
And you have a good relationship with MTV now, and I guess they're
more like you get more personal with the production company than really like MTV.
The production company works for MTV or they're hired by MTV?
It's a good question.
Because the way you make it sound, I would assume that they're freelance, kind of like.
Okay, so like when I like MTV, like production, cast me, right? But like I still had to be like approved by MTV, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because I would assume so. They
but
have to
like
get the final
when I
say.
spoke to people, I feel like I was always speaking. Because producers wise, whether it was exec or just the producers that were like on the floor with us the whole time, they're all through production. So like I feel like I was on a more personal level with the production company.
Okay.
So it's the same production company, as like Jersey Shore and everything, of course, because they created. But like they're not like set, I guess you could say, to MTV in a sense, because my production company has also created shows on different networks as well.
Okay. So yeah, it sounds like they're almost like a freelance situation, and they have the relationship with MTV. They bring the ideas.
Like that's how it works, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know.
I'm not 100% sure though.
I'm gonna have to hit the Google machine later.
Yeah, But yeah, I've like spoken, to the producers and stuff like that. Like outside of this, they were great too. Like checked in, like stuff like that. They were awesome. It was
Cool.
awesome. I mean, I have nothing, even with MTV, for anyone that I did deal with, which is just a few people. Like everyone was so great, really, honestly. So
When I did my Zoom with them, it was a Zoom or a Skype, something like that. Basically, what happened was my buddy got drafted by MTV, and
Okay.
they said we're trying to do a show with a group of guys and a group of girls, all their friends living in a house together. That's what they said.
okay,
So they're like, we've looked at your profile, we see your buddies, this and that. We're gonna reach out to them. Is that cool? And he goes, yeah. So they reach out to me. They reach out to my buddy Tyler. They reached out to a couple of us, and they set up interviews for all of us. So I sit down and do my interview, and I forget it was a woman that I was talking to. And she's just like, yeah, so just tell me a bit about yourself. I go, oh, I own my own company. I shoot videos and photos, this and that. She's like, well, what about your love life? I go, I stay mostly single. I said, people, I'm not that like sleep around. I don't like to waste my time, shit like that. It's an energy swap. I don't feel like dealing with like bad energy. I'm good on that. So
literally that person.
yeah, so she's talking to me about everything, and she just goes, okay. She goes, what about like if you're going crazy at the club and this and that, and there's drama? I go, oh no, I Irish exit. I go, I'm good on this. I don't play that game. Everybody knows too. They see me like if nothing's happening at the club, I go, all right, boys, peace. I just leave. So she goes, so where would you be like 2, 3 a.m. if the club really isn't happening? I go, probably walking back to the place because I want to go to bed. I said, I got to get in my jams and go to sleep.
And they were probably like, okay, thank you so much.
So she goes to me, she goes, and what's your most, ideal first date? And she's like, she's trying to get me to like,
oh, they'll
go
ask you everything.
No, she's trying to get me to like go crazy and tell her like dirty things. I just meant, I don't know, just, pull up, open the car door, go to the date, this and that. She just goes, and she goes, I'm going to stop the recording. Is that cool? And I go, sure. She stops recording. She goes, you're like not an asshole. And I go, no.
Oh.
So she goes, this show is not for you. And I went,
hilarious.
Okay. She goes, I have other things that I may use you for. I go, okay. She goes, yeah, no. I'm like, all right, I'm cool with that. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I feel you on that because when they would ask me, you could tell like they want to. In the end, it's TV.
Well, I don't think they were looking for you to be an asshole, like for your show, but for mine, they were looking for me to be a dick, and I'm like, I'm not like that.
Well, yes and no though, like because I told them I'm loud, right? They're like, okay, so they said like something around like when you're at the bar, like would you like start a? And I'm like, I won't start it, but if you're messing with someone, especially my family, I'm gonna get like, I've gotten like loud before. At a bar, like.
No.
To help my friends.
No, stop
Me?
it.
Loud? What? Never. But like I don't like it, you know what I mean?
Of course
but
not.
I'm very protective. Like I'm very protective of my family. I'm very protective of my friends. Like you look at them the wrong way. Like I had a bad scenario in college once with that when my sister and her now fiance came to visit me.
Yes, I saw that. Congrats. That's
Thank
awesome.
you. Thank you. Very exciting things. So yeah, that led to a loud commotion as well. But yeah, I'm just very protective. So
Well, listen, you keep it real. Like that's how I am. Someone's gonna say.
Yeah.
I always tell everybody, I'm like, yo, I do not start arguing. I've had friends years ago try to actually fight me because they just get ego. Like these are people that you think you're tight with, and then they've been holding and harboring some type of feelings that you had no idea about, and they get a little bit of drinks in them and they start acting up. I'm like, I'm gonna leave. I'm good on this. Have a good one. Like I'm not that. But if you're gonna press me and you want that problem, I got no problem handling my own and handling anybody. Yeah, I don't play that shit. Like I told my, being in Huntington Village, you deal with a bunch of different characters. You deal with a lot of different characters. And I'm constantly walking the dog, and sometimes late at night, he's definitely a nice deterrent because he doesn't play games at night when he sees people walking around shit like that. But listen, I carry pepper spray on me. I don't ever want to use it. But like, if you're gonna threaten me, the dog, shit like that, I got no problem. We'll go there.
Yeah,
we'll go there. But just keep a distance, man, because we're good. I'm friendly to everybody until you give me a reason not to.
Yeah.
So I can definitely agree with that mentality.
Mm-hmm.
So like, let me ask you this: post show, did it change your life at all? Were there new experiences or different things that were like opened up to you because of the publicity on the show? I'm just curious.
So, not as much as I expected because I think so. Once, so because I was on the finale, I knew that day that I was filming. I think they would either have. I was on the finale, but I was also top 3. There were 2 more girls left, so I think there was like maybe 1 more day of filming or something like that, and then it was almost over. But besides that, it's so funny what is going on behind the scenes. So I'm like, I literally get my phone as like I'm leaving.
9,000.
And so much comes out, but not even just in the sense of like who I haven't spoken to, but if anyone's never heard of it, Reddit. It's not exactly the happiest of places to go.
It's not.
It's
It's a shit talking machine.
It is a shit talking machine. I did my best to stay off it, but I was also very intrigued at times. So,
what was it, like episode breakdowns you were looking at of like people that watch the episode that comment on it?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I don't know if I could do it.
Twitter itself, like they'll tag you right in it because a really big thing when the show finally went live was to live tweet, so you can like interact with your fans, and you would put under all the tweets under a hashtag, which was Double Shot at Love. So if you click that hashtag, you could see everything. And oh my God, I've gotten even like DMs, like I've gotten some crazy stuff. But I mean, I gained a lot of followers. I was able to be, bring my life to more people. I was never really like private like that at all. So it helped, I'm sure, like even the salon some way with clientele, if anyone lived in the area and stuff like that. But what came out, which I think is what brought the whole series to kind of like an end in a sense, was Vinny not really fully in it for the right reasons. So like I read, these are things, don't quote me on it, but these are things like I read, and like I read that like he was like dating someone the entire time, and I think actually Snooki even went on a podcast saying that it was all for the paycheck or something like that, or made a joke about that. So when it came to like a reunion that you would usually get, or anything like for the premiere or anything like that, like we really didn't get that much. Obviously the show was happening no matter what, and they were putting it out there, but we didn't get a reunion. There was no spin-off in any sort of way. So I think more definitely could have come from it, but I think because, and you would even see it on Reddit, and you would even see it on fans, like I feel like he's not taking it seriously, like da-da-da-da, like stuff like that.
Did you feel that way?
In the moment, like when I was there,
sort of 50-50.
Sort of. There were like you could tell, like there were moments I felt like he like wasn't like into it and stuff like that. But it's also a lot to do. I'm sure the amount of interviews and stuff like that they had were a lot more than us, because they're the whole show. You know what I mean? Like him, Pauly, and like Nikki and stuff. So, but it wasn't until I left and I was reading all this stuff and it was hitting me in the face, and like I was like, okay, this was just for like the the TV aspect of everything. So yeah, I mean, I wish there was like more to it. And I even said, even if they wanted to go and do a 4th season like they did 2nd season. So just because I know you've also never watched, I had to learn it for myself. The 1st season they brought in as a dating show for the 2 of them. And then the 2nd season, they made it a little more laid back. They just put them in a suite in Vegas. They actually even brought guys in to add to the cast. It wasn't like about a dating show. It was just about the same people being together, and they added a few more. And then it was just about them working and hanging out in Vegas and whatever came about that.
Okay.
So we figured maybe that, considering because the winner and Vinny ended up not staying together either.
I was gonna ask that. I was gonna say,
no, the winner's actually my good friend, AK, and she won and stuff like that. And she was obviously honest with me, but then they were honest with the world about it. They put a whole thing out there that they weren't together. They spoke and they tried, and it didn't work out. And so then I was like, well, maybe they'll do something like they did season 2. I mean, what I can tell you this, we were entertaining, and there's no doubt for that. So you know what I mean? And that's what it's all about in the end. So, but like nothing, it just kind of went to like a halt. And I was like, all right, like, but I always, take everything for what it is. And I was like, that for me was like my foot, like 1 foot through the door. Cause now not only does my production company know who I am if they ever created something or wanted me on it, but MTV does too. Cause I feel like you can get grabbed from either end. You know what I mean?
And for other shows too.
Oh, for
Yeah, they
anything.
see
I mean,
the
I'm open to it.
The publicity is awesome. So
Yeah, and I've spoken to producers after the show, and they know I'm open to it too. Like I've said that. You know what I mean? I don't know whether it's like I said, it's dating or just a regular reality show or whatever the case may be. But yeah, so I enjoyed it.
I'm trying to think. So it's a pivot again. So you mentioned
Pivot.
you mentioned the dating apps.
It's always going to take me back to Friends.
Pivot.
Forever is going to take me back to Friends.
Always. You're right. So you mentioned the dating apps. Was that prior or was that post show or both? To try to use them to find somebody.
So I was like on and off them before and after. Like I was just like, it's like going on Instagram, but you go on the app. You see what? And this huge. Okay.
Just I want to get a woman's perspective on them and what you guys deal with on there.
It depends on the woman because I have like friends that they just have confidence and they'll be like, hey, what's up? Like, blah, blah, blah. You want to do this? Da, da, da. And even if they're not like fully attracted, like they'll go and they'll try. And I get it. Like you shouldn't judge the picture at all, which is another huge reason why I hate the app also. But I have this thing, which you brought up before, like a vibe and energy. I can pick up on it immediately. And whether it's like that attractive vibe or just the way things are flowing, because I've spoken to good looking men and there is nothing there. Okay. Nothing there. I'm like, okay, bye. Like trying my best to like
same personality as this desk right here. Such a shame.
So I'd rather go out and network and do a million different things and meet people that way, honestly, because I can pick up on it easily. And you just get like a better, okay, so you connect with someone on the app, right? And then you're talking back and forth a million times and like you do a few weeks there. First of all, I don't even think it should be a few weeks off of that. If you connect with someone, it's a good conversation day one. Hey, let's go grab a drink right off the bat. That's another thing. Like I can't with the sliding in a DM. Like there's no more. I'm not saying you have to even call me, but like don't Snapchat me.
Oh,
just
you don't like it when people ask you for your Snapchat?
Oh my God.
Grown ass men ask. Well, I can't say for all of them, but grown ass men asking for your Snapchat.
Oh, I don't even use Snapchat. I have it, but I don't even use it anymore.
Side note before I let you continue because I'm intrigued. It's crazy. I downloaded. I used to use Snapchat back when I was, I don't know, fucking 21, 22.
Yeah,
like
I remember when it came out in college.
Used to use a ton. And then Instagram.
And then everyone learned that you could screenshot and doesn't fully disappear.
Yeah, it's over. No, yeah. Oh, great. So they just get a notification. You just got a notification and that's it. Well, it's still fuck you. I got everything anyway.
Yeah.
So I had Snapchat. I used to use it all the time. And then Instagram pawned off their feature. And that's when I used it because I used Instagram 99% of the time anyway.
Yes.
I haven't used Snapchat in years. And then I got involved video-wise with a crypto company. I was told, we're going to start putting out, they do like news stories on Snapchat where we're going to start publicizing them and do like an actual series.
Yeah.
So he's like, just download the app again. This is, I don't know, a year ago. He's like, just download the app again and get used to it. I'm like, all right, sure. I download it. I don't know why everybody asks me for my Snapchat. Like every time you match with somebody, some girl recently, she's like, hey, you got Snapchat? I go, no, I'm a grown-ass man. I'm not talking to you on Snapchat. Take my Instagram. If you don't want, I don't need your number. Just hit me up on Instagram. It's all communication at the end of the day. I can make plans with you on Instagram. I can make plans with you over text message. It don't matter to me. But like Snapchat, it's like weird.
I think social media just drags it a little too much. Like it gives a comfort level now to dating. It's like a buffer. And don't get me wrong, I like it in the sense of like you could definitely have a vibe and feel of someone based on it.
Big voice note guy. I send mad voice notes.
I got that right.
I'm a voice note guy, and
first sent it to me. First of all, but at the same time, I wasn't that surprised because I'm like, all right, he has a podcast, like it makes sense because like people do that, like. I probably should because I could literally text you an essay. I try my best. I used to be really bad like that, like getting the whole thing out. I'm like, all right, Erica, take it easy. So,
which is better than the one-word answers that I usually have to deal with, or men usually have to deal with.
Oh no, but I'm not talking about like in a dating.
I'm saying I'm saying in general, which is better because when people can't communicate in general.
Well, that's the thing. Because I'm very, how I speak, like I express myself, like I'm trying to like give all my detail, you know what I mean? So that's what happens on the messaging. But I feel like in the sense of dating with the social media, it can definitely prolong it because it's like, okay, you can like something and then you can like slide in and say this and everything. Meanwhile, I'm like, what do you want to just figure this out right now? Like, why don't we go grab, why don't we go grab a drink? Like, we could just save each other a lot of time. Like, and I don't want to take away, because I hate that I'm about to say this, but to an extent, the game, because it's fun in the beginning to flirt and have fun. Like, but I feel like I'm turning 30 soon.
I'm 31. I'm tired. I'm tired. I don't want to be fire emojis.
And I don't know if it's because I am turning 30 soon that like I'm starting to feel it a little bit more, but I'm just like, isn't it more fun to like, even if you don't want to eat, I get that, because sometimes food's like, isn't it more fun to go grab a drink, like, and just figure it out from there? You know what I mean?
They don't think that way. They don't believe they'd rather stay digital because they're so used to just moving the thumbs and liking stories and sending fire emojis and shit like that. And because when it comes down to it, people can't do what we're doing. They can't. A lot of people can't. It don't matter. Good looking, bad. It don't matter. Personality is so hard to find, to be able to sit here,
social media,
eye contact, and actually interact with a human being without question.
Yeah,
it's such a. We talk about this a lot on the show, and I feel like I always repeat myself.
Yeah.
It's allowed people to have a platform and get their word out on a large scale and talk to millions of people. But when it comes to that interpersonal communication skill where you're in person, and I don't care how much game somebody has online, they see you in person sometimes fumbling. Oh, you were smooth with it when you were texting.
Yeah.
Or you were talking a big game on here, and you acted like but you're not like that, because it just gives them, like you said, that cushion and that shield to be able to have that layer, a buffer layer.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, like, if you have, first of all, and if you're gonna, that's another thing. You're either gonna date or like you're not. Like, I hate that like mid tease now also. I think it was fun when you're younger and stuff like that. But for me, like I said, I don't know if it's because I'm turning 30 now and everything like that, but like, I like let's go on a date, like, you know what I mean, or even just grab a drink. Like, grabbing a drink is the easiest thing ever, because then you can just leave if it's not vibing out. And at dinner, I feel like you need to like finish, you know what I mean, like, and that whole thing. So, yeah,
like a little axe throwing, ping pong.
Oh yeah,
planetarium. Like, just do something that's interactive.
Oh yeah, like definitely.
Gym sesh too. Gym sessions early. I see you down there at OG.
Oh my god, love that place.
So I'm very friendly with Sarah Marici.
Okay.
So I'm very friendly with Sarah. So I know she's big down there, and I think Evan, right? Evan's the head guy.
Yeah. So Evan, Taylor, and Lenny.
Evan's the guy. He followed me recently, and
okay.
Yeah, I've heard good things about him and everybody that goes to the class.
He's awesome. I mean, all right, we're gonna pivot again. Now we're going to the gym.
Yeah, that's kind of what we do. We just kind of like
that place literally. Because like I said, I grew up as I was a competitive gymnast before I was a competitive dancing. I always danced, but gymnastics was first. Like, that was like instilled in me. Like, I feel like I have a lot of like, you know, that muscle memory and stuff like that from gymnastics. So the strictness of having like, you know, a coach and everything like that, I had that for so long. And then, you know, you go to college and like a few years would dwindle, and I was never like overweight or anything like that. I mean, my weight fluctuated, but nothing like crazy. But I was in and out of the gym and stuff and, you know, taking dance classes and everything. And OG came along. I found it, and it was the complete opposite of what I thought I should be doing at the gym. I would stay the farthest away from the heaviest of weights because I didn't want to get bulk. Like, I always thought that I was going to like, you know, become like, I just didn't want to, I wanted to tone, but I didn't want to like get too bulky. However, one of like Evan's first classes that I did with my first class with Evan, I should say, grabbed the heaviest weight. And I'm just like, wait, what? And I'm talking about like an arm day, not even like a leg day. Like, I want you to go as heavy as you possibly can. I'm like so nervous. Funny enough, it's so funny. Tomorrow's actually, because it was so fun. I knew I almost was there for a year, so I was looking it up recently. And I had my first class on the 29th of November last year. So tomorrow's literally 1 year at OJ.
And I assume you're going to train.
What happened?
I assume you're going to go train on the day.
Of course.
Yes.
And And I look at myself now and I'm like, holy crap. I was literally doing it all wrong. So like that place literally, I changed my life, like in the sense of like my body, how I feel, consistency. Like I haven't been this consistent at the gym. I literally go at least 6 days a week.
That's awesome.
Honestly. I try to go always in the morning. I am not big at night. I feel like once you come home, I'm just like want to relax. But I'll do it if I have to.
Jams and relax.
But yeah, I mean, the community is awesome there.
I saw you guys had like a party for Thanksgiving Eve. That's dope.
Yeah. So the Monday late night crew, I guess, raves a lot. Like again, I usually go to the morning classes. So so the other owner, Taylor, that coach, he was like, I'm gonna host a rave night. So they literally did something on Thanksgiving Eve, and there was only supposed to be one, and then there were more people that wanted to join. So we did the later one. A few friends of mine. I was there literally till 12:30 at night, just working out, full body, 90 minutes. It was awesome.
It beats the bars.
What?
It beats hanging out at the bars and
Oh my
seeing the
gosh,
same
you know,
bar rats.
I have been hungover for Thanksgiving Eve. I can't even tell you. Thanksgiving from Thanksgiving Eve for so many years. Prior to COVID, not like really recently. And it was just so nice not to be hungover like at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's awesome. I literally love it there.
It's cool. I did, my buddy Tom, he knows Evan and Taylor, I believe.
Okay.
He does, his is a little more rough, Tom stuff. It's more of like your hands are ripping in half when you're there, and there's chalk all over the floor, and he's more of like the dungeon type stuff, which is the type of training that I like to do.
Yeah.
I was gonna go to a class at OG with my buddy Joe Silberti.
Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna go there with Joe. Joe's dope.
Yeah.
But I'm a Bev's guy. I just always had bodybuilding style workouts, and that's just kind of.
So we mix now with conditioning, but there are days. I mean, you have to. I don't even keep track just because I go there 6 days a week anyway. So I'm like, all right, what am I walking into today? But there are days though that it's like barely any cardio, if not any, and we're just lifting the whole time.
Well, I got to get back to cardio. I got to get back in and start doing it. I'm gonna start running again.
We have a new program going where I love how I say we as if it's like but it's
it's team. It's a family environment.
But where they added more conditioning. As a woman, I like that because I like to, burn. Like I don't want it to just always be about lifting heavy. But that's why I love this new setup that they do. But you can go on any day, whether it's conditioning or not. You can go grab the heaviest that you want. You know
yeah, listen, I'm sure it's a great. I will eventually make my way down there. I'm sure he'll listen. I will eventually make my way down at the class. I have to get back in. I did 2 shows. I did 2 bodybuilding shows, and my weight has fluctuated a lot. But I've been 220 for probably about like 2 years now.
Okay.
I want to get back down to 180. I feel my best at 180. You look lean, you feel good, this and that.
Never get a scale.
No, I need one.
I don't believe in the scale.
I need one.
I mean, I guess if you're in that, but
I was 280 in high school. I was pre-diabetic.
Really?
Yeah, I was 280. And then I dropped to 270, 275, and then I dropped down to 190 in one summer. And then from there, I started dating a girl at the time for about 4 years, is when I was 19 years old.
Okay.
And then I wasn't hitting the gym the same way. And I went back up to 240 when I went away to Quinnipiac. We both went away to different schools. Within like 3 weeks, didn't work out anymore. And I was sitting there just irritated, confused as a young man. I had no idea what to do. I was heartbroken. And I just, I was like, wow, I went away to this school and I don't know anybody and I'm out of my comfort zone. But I had just joined Bev's back home the summer before.
Okay.
So I said, you know what? Why don't I do a show? Like I like fitness. I like working out and this and that. And I went from 240 to 150 in a year.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was an interesting transformation. I worked with a coach that didn't really know how to work with natural athletes. And every week I'd wake up and there were drugs on my meal plan. And he'd be like, oh, take this. And I'm like, I'm natural, dude. I don't want, I've already done the waves. Like, I don't care if somebody does it, but I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And I dieted for 23 weeks. It was really hard. Away
Wow.
at college, no alcohol, no extra meals.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I was
Probably my heaviest in college.
It was wild. It was a wild trip. So I just, since then, I did that one show, I was 150. Then I did an off season. Then I worked with that coach one more time, which was a huge mistake. But at the same time, we talk about life paths and things that put you in different positions to meet different people.
Yep.
If I didn't do the bodybuilding shows, even with that coach, I wouldn't have become friends with the pros. I wouldn't have picked a camera up because I wanted to start a YouTube channel. I wouldn't have started a podcast. Like, I wouldn't have had the same lifespan, like not lifespan, but life spreading out experiences that brought me to where I am today.
Yeah, I actually just posted a quote recently about how there's blessings in disguises and everything.
I
like
full-heartedly believe
me
that.
too.
Yeah,
Me too. Just like you have to. I think it was like around. I think it was the year of 2020. And I said to one of my girlfriends one day, I was like, I'm just not gonna say no to anything, like not obviously in a
yes, man, yes, man, yes,
like
man.
not in a dangerous way, obviously, but like in the sense of like any opportunity, like I don't care. It could be the smallest of a small, but I said this earlier, like there's no small opportunities because it's gonna lead you to meeting someone seeing you out of it, making some sort of connection. Like everything matters, you know what I mean? So I just go out there and
you just do your thing.
Do my thing.
I love that. That's literally what you need to do.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got anything from this, if you got anything, it's that. You got to just live life, have fun.
Yes.
I'm not totally aligned with the skydiving, but I think that's a great experience for her. I think she should do that.
A little adrenaline rush.
I like
with your life.
I like my feet planted right on the floor. It's a good feeling for me. I don't know how I'd be every time I travel. So I got to be on a plane tomorrow to go to Miami. So every time I travel, there's a point on the flight where I'm sitting there. Flying doesn't make me nervous anymore. It used to make me nervous.
Yeah.
But like I'm so numb to it now that it's just whatever. There's a point in the flight every time where I sit there and I'm like, yo, damn, my feet are just like, and this much metal, and then it's just drop. It's just, there's nothing underneath me. And if this thing goes down, whoo, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen.
Oh my God, look, my
Every
brother.
single time. Oh, he doesn't like flying?
He hates flying. He hates flying, my brother.
I think that I did trial by fire. I kind of just, I did Hawaii. I went to Hawaii alone twice. I just went to just.
And that's a long one.
Yeah, that was.
Right? How long is I've never been, but.
I think it was like 11 and a half, 12 hours. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it was direct from New York. I just decided to go. Just went twice, and it was cool. Very cool experience. I had a great time down there. Everybody was on their honeymoons, and they're like, "Anybody else for your picture?" I'm like, "Nah, just me. Take the picture. Let's go." I'm like, "Come on, let's go."
Do they really give you like the?
Oh yeah, they lay you right off the plane. But you know, after that, I think I left at. They're 6 hours behind us. So I left at like 9 a.m. and I landed like 1 p.m. their time, but it was like 11-hour flight. So it just felt so weird. Dubai actually wasn't even that bad for me. That was 12 and a half hours there, 14 and a half hours back.
I'm trying to think of, okay, so Thailand's not direct. So we had to do, I want to say it was 14 and a half to Hong Kong. And then we went right into another plane, which we always say we should have like hung out in Hong Kong for a day, but
probably, yeah.
And then it was another three and a half to Bangkok. So that was probably like my longest flying experience.
How was it?
I slept the whole time. My friends were cracking up because they couldn't sleep and I was out. Like my friend Sierra, one of the girls that I went with, she was like talking to me. The lady went to get the drink order and she's like, Erika, I look back and you're passed out. All I did was order a soda and you're knocked. Like I was knocked the whole time. Any moving feel, like when I was a kid too, like my mom used to put me in the car to fall asleep. Like
that's what my mom did for me too.
Knock.
I love the car. Plane though, I get cramped. I need the aisle seat. I'm that asshole that puts one leg quarter out, and then the cart always comes by and gives me a shin break in the low shin break. I'm like, oh, dude.
See, I think the window is better for that because at least you can lean. You know what I mean?
No,
so
I need that.
If you hate flying to begin with, you don't want to be like, I feel like all the way in. Also.
You know what? I used to like the window. I used to like being able, like you said, to just kind of nestle up right there. But then, you know, if I want to go to the bathroom,
I know you become that annoying.
And then I usually am stuck between other people, and I'm not the biggest guy in the world, but my shoulders, I'm usually like right up against somebody. So at least if I'm on the aisle seat, I can kind of.
Yeah, but then you're getting hit with the cart.
Listen,
occasionally.
I try to be respectful. I'm trying. I'd rather get bumped by the cart than make somebody irritated for 14 and a half hours. We got to be neighbors for all that time.
It's the worst when you're by yourself and you just get like that one, like you gotta like this scrunch up.
Oh yeah. Oh, so one time they booked me a middle seat, and I had two people that were probably like, I don't know, they had to be almost 300 pounds just on both sides. It was like a comic. It was like a meme. I was like this the entire time from LA. I'm like, oh God, this is gonna be the worst flight ever. And no, I did not get first class. No, I did not. It was like right coach. I was like this for the entire flight in the middle seat, just like, oh, please.
Yeah.
When you got that middle seat, everyone's got to learn on the outside. Give me my elbow room. I got 2 people next to me. I need my elbows. You guys can lean.
Middle seats are the worst.
Nah, middle seat's the rookie seat.
Worst.
Rookie seat. The only way you leave
Sorry,
that
that's
open.
the only thing left. I'll take the next flight. Like I'm
Yo, give me the next plane.
Next flight.
Or put me in the cargo. At least I can stretch out.
Oh my god, yeah. Nope.
So let me ask you one more question.
Shoot.
Obviously post show doing your thing now. You're still doing the production company with dances and all the events.
Yes, on the weekends, yep.
And you're working with the salon.
So I manage the salon, run it with my mom, and then on the weekends I'm with my DJ production company. Yeah.
And so where do you see yourself going? If anywhere, because I think where you are is a great position.
Yeah, no.
Because you're enjoying what you're doing.
It's great.
So you don't need to go anywhere. It's just, maybe you have future plans.
It's great. I mean, I definitely want to do more things with whether it's like modeling or film or TV again. Like I said, I've spoken to producers and everything like that, so anything could happen. But no, it's great where I am at because if anything were to happen like that, it's flexible too. You know what I mean? And I know the business extremely well. I even network a lot with my weekends also with the production, not even just through the salon, but like with the production company. So right now things are well. I mean, we have our own product line. So like something I would love to do with that is kind of like revamp that a little bit and expand that a little bit more. So I would definitely love to do something with that because I'm good at least on the business end and like with the product end. Like I'm not going to cut your hair, but I definitely can tell you which product to use. So yeah, I mean.
Would you ever do a podcast? You should do one.
So funny.
You should do one.
Every time I meet people, they compliment my voice.
You should do one.
It's the number one thing I always get. And this guy wanted to actually like set up, because I guess he has his own, like a whole thing for me. And he's like, you can talk about anything. You can talk about hair, whatever. So I know that could definitely be in my future as well.
Definitely do that. I think that would be good for you. I think you're very charismatic. You're easy to talk to. I think you just going different topics, whether it be dance, dating, just everything.
Whichever.
I think it would be really good. So I always suggest people that, you're trying to continue branding yourself. You want to brand the products at the salon. There's no better way than give people tips and tricks and have people listen to you on a weekly, semi-weekly, whatever basis, and have some type of a show that you can continue building your name up, and it will only unlock more things for you. So.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, you've done such a great job.
Little by little, we're getting there. Just
it's awesome.
Slow and steady. My issue is the consistency of it because I get paid to do video and photo work. So when I'm doing this stuff, I don't get paid for the podcast.
Yeah.
So I like to.
Not yet.
Hey, there you go. There's that.
Manifest, baby.
Oh,
manifest.
Without question.
Not
I like to.
Yet.
I like to just. I know where this could go and where this will go.
Yeah.
I just need to have the proper channels. Like I said, I have that young lady that's been helping me cut clips for the show. Mm-hmm. That's been huge. Like because to sit, and I tell people all the time, to sit and, because I keep watching the cameras, I'm watching the audio levels, I'm watching the meters, and to be the host and talk. It's a lot to do.
Your surroundings.
Yeah, it's a lot to do.
You're be aware of all your surroundings.
Exactly. So that's definitely helped. But to start building out a team that's going to help me and continue to, just have these meaningful, dope conversations and just talk about regular cool shit like this.
Consistency really is key.
That's it. That's the
key.
TikTok thing. Are you on TikTok?
I am not consistent with.
Yeah, you should.
I'm very consistent with Instagram. I'm not consistent with.
You would blow
TikTok.
up on TikTok.
I know. I first originally did it with, of course, COVID times. You know what I mean? Doing all because as a dancer, I wanted to do all like the dance ones, and then it stopped. And like I know I have to anything though. I feel like anything could get picked up. Like
we'll talk. I'll give you. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what you should definitely do because I know I love seeing people succeed and do well with what they want to do. So I know that you could explode and continue to build, and just show that you're more than just a dating contestant, you know what I'm saying? That some people
definitely more than that.
That some people see you in that light because they watch a show, they think that that's all you are.
Yeah, well,
they don't really get the background on you.
Yeah, no, which is why like I always say too, if I had another opportunity to be on TV, I hope it wouldn't be dating, like only because I feel like you could be a little bit more yourself if it's just like, hey, go out there and be you, because there's so many like silly, stupid things that were filmed that you couldn't see that I did. I mean, you have to understand there's so much footage that,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
like
They could
so
remix for
much.
years, I'm sure.
We used to think that we could predict, my friends and I, what, because we have an idea of what the episode was going to be about. But we were like, oh, okay, this is definitely how it's going to lay out. They're going to show this. They didn't show any of it.
Nope.
So it's so funny because there was so much that just like showed our fun personalities. We were like, oh, they didn't show that? Like, damn. So Instagram's my way of just like, you know, being me. I feel like I don't talk enough on it where people could hear like my voice and stuff.
Facts.
But what I put out there though, I mean, you're definitely getting the real me. I probably talk a little bit more after a few drinks and I'm out enjoying music. I'll never be shy to like dance also. So yeah, that's definitely more than just a dating show, girl, for sure.
Facts, see? That's what and we're putting it out there, and now everyone's going to see, and they're going to be like, damn, we got to sign her up for the best show possible now.
Damn right.
So listen,
Damn right.
I appreciate you coming down talking to me. You're
Oh my
awesome.
God, thank you.
I
This
definitely
is
want to have
awesome.
you back again. I think we should.
Sure.
I think we could actually do some segments together, like something where, I don't know, I'm brainstorming some stuff because I have some regular co-hosts.
Okay.
So my buddy Jamal comes in a lot. He's a strength and conditioning coach. You've probably seen a lot of his clips throughout the internet, and just I like to. Once again, I like to publicize awesome people, and I had a guy actually just recently hit me up. He used to go to Bev's, and now he's in Jersey. And he just said, "Yo, dude, I love what you're doing with the show. Talking, especially the Marina clips where she was talking about her double mastectomy.
Oh my God, yeah, I saw that.
I want to get that out there, like real useful shit. Like
Yeah.
I'm not trying to go for the sensationalism. I want to go for the real stories, the real people.
Absolutely.
Like people hit me up, they're like, "Oh, I'm not famous. I can't come. You know, I don't want to ask to come on the show." I'm like, yo, I just want to sit down and talk to real people and get real information and knowledge out there.
Definitely.
So this guy deals a lot with prostate cancers and screenings and testing and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
I was like, yo, tell me when you're gonna be on Long Island. Let's do it. So I think we could probably think of something to
Yeah.
help boost your name out there, and whether it's your own show and then I just help you do something, we could definitely talk about something. That'd be awesome.
Sounds like a plan.
Plug yourself to the camera. Let everybody know where can they find you, follow you, do things.
Oh, okay. You can follow me on Instagram. It's my full name, Erika Rose DeVito. No spaces. And yeah.
And the salon, if you want to come support.
Yes, the salon is Erika Cole by Raquel. That's the product line, but the salon is Erika Cole Salon, and it's in Syosset on Jericho Turnpike. And yeah, come in. It's not just hair. We have a spa. We really do it all. We have a boutique. We have everything there. I promise you.
There you go.
Yeah.
So thank you again for coming
Oh
down.
my God, thank you.
And everybody listening, I appreciate y'all. This is episode 39 with Erika.
39.
Peace.